Hey everyone, my name is Rosie and welcome back to my channel. So lately I have been obsessed with miniatures. I love all things mini and tiny and they're just so adorable. And lately I've been seeing on Instagram and things, people making little scenes inside tins. So you open the little lid and there's a little scene inside of a tin. So I have an Altoids tin here. And I was thinking we could do a similar thing with sort of a 3D collage. So you open the lid and inside will be, I don't know, a forest scene or, a bunch of flowers or something. And I just think this is such a cool idea. And there's so many fun, unique things that we could do inside this tin and we can make a really fun scene. So I'm too excited. So let's stop blabbing. Let's see what kind of scene we can make inside this Altoids tin. So I have my Altoids tin here, and this isn't super tiny, but it's pretty small. So that's going to dictate a lot of the images that we can use. Obviously, they need to fit in here. And also we have two options in terms of orientation. We could do a scene like this, or we could also do a vertical scene if we wanted to do maybe tall trees or something like you're looking into a forest. I think could work better this way, but I think it's really going to depend on what images we use. So we're going to start in the place that I start a lot, especially with smaller projects, and that is flipping through my cutout book. So these are just plastic sleeves that have a bunch of images that I've cut out for projects and not used. So let's start looking. We could do space. There's a lot of great stuff in this sleeve right here. I don't know if this is from a particular project or something. There's a lot of great things in here. I think I'm gonna just take this entire sleeve because there is really some great images in that sleeve. Oh, we could have birds flying across the scene in the tin. That might be kind of cool. So I'll pull these out. They're pretty small. I think this sleeve is leftover from when I made my mini journal and I made a bunch of mini collages in there. So I'll pull this sleeve out too because there's still a couple of small images from that. What if you just opened it up and it was just 3 cats? That would be, they're the perfect size. They're really cute. So I found this landscape image while I was flipping through some books looking for other images, and I guess it's a chalk grassland, but I thought this would give us a good thing to build off of, and I also thought it might be the perfect place for this bus to drive. So we could be sort of looking in on this scene as the bus drives through this sort of wild landscape, and it also is pretty much exactly the right size for the tin. So I'm thinking we should start with this and then get our bus cut out and put that in. And then I also really loved this owl, and I thought maybe we could put him in the top, like he's sort of looking over the entire scene. So this image is not quite wide enough to fit in the entire tin, but I think we can cover up this area over here with a tree or something, so I'm not too worried about it. But even just separating the foreground from the background here, again, we're gonna have so much depth here. This is gonna be a really interesting. It's too hard to see what we're doing in the Altoids tin itself. So I cut a little template out. I love doing this. 2 little windows in this piece of paper so we can see what's going to happen once we get it into the tin. I was also thinking in the top section we could do a galaxy, space image in the back. And then I kind of like this owl, like he's peering over the scene, and maybe he could be sitting on the moon. This owl might be a little bit too big, but this is sort of what I'm thinking. Is something like that might be fun. And then we need something to cover up the side over here because that background image isn't quite long enough. So I was thinking a tree or this mushroom might work. It's definitely not covering up everything. We still have a huge hole, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So it's been well over a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks since I worked on this project last. And I think I was feeling really stuck with what I was working on last. I kind of don't even really remember what I was doing. So I kind of want to just start fresh a little bit today. So I went through this Children's Illustrated Dictionary right before this and pulled out some images from this just because it tends to have a little bit smaller images. And I pulled out some new ones that I think might work better for the kind of idea that I want to do. I think with what I had going on before, I was having a hard time getting enough things for all the layers I wanted. So I tried to focus on some longer landscapes that I maybe could use twice or just a little bit, or that would layer well on top of each other. These two are sort of going in different directions, so would lay on top of each other well. I also have been thinking a lot about what I want to do between the top and the bottom and what kind of relationship I want the scene to have. And I think I want to try to get a little bit more of a connection between what's going on the top and the bottom. I'm going to just start over a little bit today. And I also have been really thinking about these cats and how much I really love them. And I think that they might work well behind these mountains. I think that maybe we could sort of building something around this and seeing if we can create more of a layered landscape than what I had before. Let me get my little window thing that I created back out here. We can start playing around. I think that might work well as a composition. And I actually think we should put a space scene in the background here. So let's get that going, kind of like that. And this other landscape that I found has this tall cactus. So I thought maybe we could get the cactus to start, down on this scene and have it go up into the top part of the tin, and maybe that will be a good connection too. Now I probably will have to put something else in the background here because I don't think that the bottom of this image doesn't make much sense here maybe. I don't know. The other thing that I found that I thought was really cool was this bridge that's sort of, going over this river and around the corner here. And I wanted to try to incorporate this into another scene. And I was thinking maybe we could take this TV and have it be the end of the path. So the path is like going into the TV, and then we can sort of incorporate that into the scene. I want to cut the bridge and the path out from the rest of the background and just have it float on top of the desert scene we have in the background. I think anyway, we'll have to cut it out and see what it looks like. So something like that. And then the last thing I found that I really liked were these dice. And I thought maybe they would just be fun to sort of sprinkle about as sort of like they were floating around. So, maybe we put one up in space that this cat is looking at, and maybe, we tuck one behind the bridge here, maybe one here. Maybe that's kind of a lot, but I do think that it's kind of a fun element and is a little bit weird. I kind of am liking this layout, and I think taking a step away from this and coming back to with really fresh eyes and sort of just taking my time to find some new elements, I think is doing a lot for me on this piece. So I still need to find some sort of background for this part down here and then cut out the bridge to make sure this is going to work. And then I also, what else do I need to do? Oh, I need to start gluing all of our pieces onto cardstock and then cut them out again so they have a little backing before we assemble. Let's do those couple of things and see if we are still happy with how things are looking, and we'll go from there. I'm assuming I should replace the inside of the TV, like the TV screen part, with a different image and have the path go into whatever that new image is, but I'm not exactly sure what it should be. Maybe it should be space to connect the space background to down here. That probably makes the most sense. So I got all my elements glued to cardstock and cut out so they're nice and stiff. They have some heft to it. I also found what I think will be an okay enough background for the bottom part. It really just needs to, have some sort of texture back here so it's not just white. I think that will be a pretty good background right there. And then, a lot of this front layer will cover a lot of the stuff in the back, so it kind of doesn't even really matter what that is. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I also cut our little cats out and cut their paws a little bit so I could slip them behind the mountains and have their paws stick in front. And I think that might be a pretty cute look, like they're peeking over the mountain. And then this guy, maybe could go up here or something. I'll finesse this once we're closer to assembly, but I think their little paws sticking over the mountain is really cute. And then we'll have the galaxy in the background. And that will be, there'll be some depth there, which will be nice. Next is going to be cutting these shapes out to be the right size. Now, I did struggle a good amount with this background one, I wanted it to be really snug in here, and the template I originally made is close, but not quite right, and so I had to do a lot of, snipping a little bit off the edge and fixing the corners. I think it's good enough. It definitely doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that is the next step, and then we'll start, I think, assembling, and then I guess we're done after we assemble. So let's get to it. And I've used these before in the past on other projects, but I'm going to be using these adhesive mounting squares to give us a little bit of depth. These are sticky on both sides, and so you just stick them to your elements, and you can stack them on top of each other to get more height if you want. So this is what we'll use to get depth for our images within the tin. And I am excited to see this all come together. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Now I am gonna have to cut the top of the cactus off, which that makes me really sad, but we gotta do it. We gotta do it. All right, let's get this stuck in here. And okay, let me just double check that this is not upside down. Okay. All right, first piece in. And it is solid. Let's get this bottom one in. Oh boy. What happened? I thought this fit. Okay, there we go. All right, we got our two bases in. What a great start. Trying to think if I want to just give them one level, probably. All right, we've got all our little adhesive squares on here. Maybe I went a little overboard with the number I used on the cats, but I really just don't want anything to flop over time. So I think the more, the merrier. All right, now we have to make sure this is in the right spot because I know that when these stick, they're stuck. So you have to be really, really precise on where you want it to go. Okay, that is perfect. Wow, it looks great. Now the cat is really touching the top up here, but I think that's okay. This piece is next, and I think we want a good amount of depth on this one, so I might do 2 layers of stickies on top of each other. Oh boy. I didn't peel the stickies off yet. I just want to see what's the height we're looking at. Okay, I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good depth, I think. Let me just get these in, and then we'll do the TV and the road. Oh, I have to cut the bottom off a little. We'll do them up higher too. I think that this is going to work well. This is going swimmingly. This is really fun. I think that actually kind of works. All right, I think we got the cactus to work. I think it's, you know, it's not perfect, but it definitely, the illusion is definitely there, and I'm kind of digging it. Maybe we'll put 2 dice back there because there is a good amount of space. Maybe we'll put 2 dice back there, 1 up here, and I'm gonna cut it. Or I could put 1 over here maybe. 1 up here, 1 down here, and 1 over here. Yeah, okay. I think that will work. I feel like I'm jumping around a lot on this, but that's okay. Let's cut these. Kind of scary. I think I might do it with an X-Acto knife actually to get a sharper line. Okay, so this one will stick off the edge like that. Oh, that is a nice touch. I like that. Okay, this one we gotta trim. Put that one up here. Yep, I like that. And then maybe I'll cut off just a little bit from this one. Just, I kind of like the look of it sticking off the edge. I don't know, it just looks, I don't know, it just looks kind of cool. Like they're really floating around, which I think is fun. Pardon me. Oh yeah, I didn't stick that down yet. I'm like, why is it floating like that? Okay, perfect. And now let's stick this down because we can. Okay, everything there is in place. Let's get these dice up here down because they're floating everywhere. Oh, that's neat. Oh, the dice are so cool. It's adding so much. I really, really like it. All right, this is probably going to be the most complicated stick down because there's 2 levels and I just got to stick everything in the right place, but we can do it. We can do it. Okay, just need to focus. It's helpful when you have a piece that's sitting flat against the side. I should not be talking. I need to focus. Okay, we did it. Cool. Perfect. Okay, we're done. Wow, the assembly came together really fast. We're done. That's it. I love it. It's really fun. The dice, I feel like add a lot. That is so cool. And oh, you know what? It doesn't close. I didn't think about that. It doesn't close. I mean, wow, I really did not think about that. It doesn't close because the picture, it's hitting the picture. Wow, you can't see that at all. Wow, I didn't think about that at all. How it wouldn't close. I thought it was gonna close. That is so funny. Oh my God, I spent so long on this. Doesn't close. Oh goodness, what do I do? I don't even know. It's still really cool and I really love it. And I probably honestly will display it open anyway, so I don't think it needs to close. I also think this just means we have to do this again and I have to be more thoughtful about what I put in the top so it can still close. I think pretty much what it means is I just have to do a flat collage in the top part and not do any 3D, at least around the edge. I could probably do 3D in the center, but just not around the edge so the lip can fit. I still really love how this turned out. I hope that you all enjoyed this video, enjoyed coming along on this journey. I know, this took me 3 weeks to make, if not longer, and my ideas changed a lot, but ultimately, I think this is really cute, and I love the cats, and I love the little path with the TV, and the dice are such a cool addition. Anyway, I had really a lot of fun making this today, so I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!